Welcome back to Sky Sports and welcome to this pre-season report ahead of the third season of F1 Ultimate Career as we near the opening round of the 2022 Formula 1 season. The teams have spent time in both Barcelona and Bahrain over the last month, getting to grips with their new challenges as a brand new set of regulations rocks the sport. The new technical and aerodynamic regulations were designed with closer racing in mind, with the front and rear wings on the cars having been modified to allow drivers to follow another car more closely. The tyres have undergone a makeover too, as each machine will now sport 18-inch rims instead of the previous 13, and the return of ground effects helps contribute to the striking new look of what promises to be a very competitive season. With testing wrapping up, now seems as good a time as ever to remind ourselves of the drive lineups ahead of this exciting new season. Let's start things off then with the reigning champions Mercedes. Having taken both titles for the 8th season in a row last year, the team took a hammer blow over the winter with the departure of 2020 world champion Valtteri Bottas. This left a gaping hole alongside the now 7-time champion Lewis Hamilton, and the Silver Arrows wasted no time in securing their latest driver. It was confirmed days after the conclusion of last season that Zach Cronin were making the switch over to Mercedes after just one season at Red Bull. Cronin was particularly vocal regarding Red Bull's shortcomings in the way of reliability last season, retiring from 4 race-winning positions. The German manufacturer secured Cronin's signature in a 2-year deal alongside Hamilton, but the W13 has been a difficult beast to tame so far, with both drivers reporting porpoising issues on the longer straights. Meanwhile, over at Red Bull, Christian Horner is now left with a problem in terms of who will be partnering Max Verstappen. Surprisingly, the team have taken on a new approach to their lineup this year and have signed on Sergio Perez. The Mexican sat out 2021 after losing his seat at what is now Aston Martin, but the team from Milton Keynes have made the choice to bring Perez into the fold, stating his experience in Formula 1 will be crucial in understanding and adapting to the new regulations. Verstappen stays on with the team, still in pursuit of his first Drivers' Championship, having finished as the runner-up to Hamilton last season. Moving on now to Ferrari, who seem to have made a fair bit of progress over the winter. The F175 looks to be one of the strongest cars on the grid, and the Scuderia will no doubt be feeling confident in their chances thanks to their driver lineup as Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz stay on at the team. Leclerc exhibited his talent across last season, including pole position in Brazil, but was often lacking the machinery to properly challenge the front runners. Sainz was equally consistent in his efforts, only being outscored by 2 points against his teammate, but will look to improve this year with what appears to be a faster car under him and a full 12 months of experience with the team. On the other hand, McLaren look like they may have potentially taken a step backwards with their 2022 challenger. A third place finish last year was met with much praise about the paddock, with Lando Norris and Daniel Ricciardo finishing P5 and P6 in the standings. The MCL 36, however, looks to be slightly weaker than its predecessor. Both Norris and Ricciardo were looking anxiously over their shoulders as McLaren fought Mercedes to try and sign Cronin, but both retained their seat this season, having perhaps been served a reminder of the price they may pay for lackluster performances this year. On now to AlphaTauri, who took a top 5 finish in the Constructors last season, finishing 67 points clear of the next place team in 6th. They retain long-time servant Pierre Gasly and keep on the now sophomore Yuki Tsunoda, who is the only rookie to score last season, finishing a respectable 11th place in the standings. The winter was a quiet one for the Fines-based operations. They aim to control the midfield as they have done for the previous 2 seasons. Another objective will be to try and keep hold of Gasly, with his future in 2023 currently up in the air amid speculation from Alpine. Speaking of Alpine, they also retain their lineup of 2-time world champion Fernando Alonso and Esteban Ocon. The team's takeover from Renault, as well as Alonso's return to Formula 1 last year, was a moderately successful one, finishing 6th in the Constructors by a single point over Aston Martin after a double score in the final race in Abu Dhabi. Testing times have sparked hope that this season the team from Enstone will be able to try and bridge the gap to the top 4 teams and fight for higher points in the pecking order. Aston Martin, who lost out in that fight for P6 in 2021, keep on the expertise of 4-time world champion Sebastian Vettel for a second season, and podium finisher Lance Stroll retains his seat for a 4th successive year. In their debut season, Aston showed flashes of pace, particularly in qualifying, but over a race distance that was quite a different story. Vettel scored the majority of the team's points across the season, placing in the top half of the driver standings, and Aston Martin will no doubt be pushing Stroll to do the same thing this time around after scoring only 6 points last year. Next up is Alfa Romeo, who underwent perhaps the most change over the winter, having swapped out both drivers. Following Kimi Raikkonen's retirement, in his place they have signed the 2020 world champion Valtteri Bottas. The Finn went on record 2 days after last season saying he was proud but sad to be leaving Mercedes. Giovinazzi was dropped following the 2021 season, and replacing him will be the only rookie on the grid this year, Guan Yu Zhou, who arrives in Formula 1 having placed runner-up in Formula 2 to Oscar Piastri last season, and who will become China's first full-time driver. Moving on now to Williams, who head into 2022 with hopes to score their first championship points since the 2019 season. Nicholas Latifi stays on with the team for a 3rd year, and returning to the F1 grid will be Alexander Albon. The tyre driver lost his seat at Red Bull at the end of 2020, but stayed on with the team in a testing role last year before finally landing at the Grove-based outfit. The team now heads into their 3rd year since their acquisition from Duralton Capital, and will be looking to finally break into the points-paying places once more with Albon behind the wheel. And last of all, we move on to Haas, who also went scoreless in 2021 with rookies Mick Schumacher and Nikita Mazepin. The Kannapolis-based team cut tyres of both Mazepin and sponsor Uralkali following the start of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, and alongside Schumacher, the team have welcomed Kevin Magnussen back into the fold. The Dane left the team at the end of the 2020 season alongside Romain Grosjean, and after a year of sports car racing returned last minute in time for testing. They'll be hoping, like Williams, they can return to the points with an experienced hand in Magnussen, as well as continuing the development of sophomore Mick Schumacher. And that will wrap things up for our pre-season report ahead of the third season of F1 Ultimate Career. Not long now till the season gets underway in Bahrain and the new era of Formula 1 begins. To ensure you don't miss any of the action, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to keep up to date with all the latest content, and we'll see you at the first race of 2022. Have a fantastic day and goodbye.